Morrow gets it to White. White releases another three, and Milford absolutely scorching hot.
Tamani feeling it now. That's his third three-pointer now.
This has been a strong commitment to defense for the Hawks through this first half. And Kelly able to tip it in at the buzzer. The steal, Pasquette gets it back, tries to bank it off the glass and gets it in. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome once again inside the gymnasium here at Milford High School as Milford TV is happy to bring you coverage of Scarlet Hawks athletics. This is Tim Coet on the call as tonight we bring you a Kelly Rex meets Davenport division showdown in the Milford gym. The Scarlet Hawks boys basketball team welcoming in the Taunton Tigers. And for Milford, they enter into tonight's contest at 3-6 overall on the season, just 2-4 within league play. They are now tied with Foxborough for fourth place in the Davenport standings. And the Taunton Tigers, meanwhile, off to a good start to this year, 7-3 through 10 games this season. They are 4-2 within league play, and they are tied for third place in what has been a very competitive Kelly Rex division to start this season. For Milford, meanwhile, they're at a bit of a crossroads in their season. It has been a tough stretch for the Scarlet Hawks. They come into tonight losers of 3 straight and 4 out of their last 5. And that includes 3 consecutive losses to teams within the Hockomock League. Most recently, a very disappointing loss for Milford last night, or excuse me, I should say last Friday night here in the Milford gym. It was a fantastic ball game, a back and forth affair between Milford and North Attleboro that literally came down to the final seconds. But in the end, North Attleboro was able to do just enough to leave the Milford gym with a 53-52 lead. So once again, Milford could not seal the deal, and as a result now have dropped 6 games overall now on the season. And looking to end that losing streak here tonight, they're right about at their midway point in the season. So you have to start looking ahead towards just how many games you have left to make a move up the standings. And for right now, the task for Milford is to at least get back to that 500 mark to keep themselves within the playoff mix. And they have some work to do to get there. Just 3-6 overall, and I believe it is technically a 2-6 record in terms of playoff implications with 1 exclusion game in the mix there. So Milford has to go on a run here to start to make their way back to the 500 mark. They hope it will start here tonight against a Taunton team that has been very tough, in particular on the offensive side of the floor this season. Taunton comes into the game tonight averaging 63.7 points per game, which is nearly 10 points per game more than what the Scarlet Hawks have been averaging on a nightly basis. So Milford is going to have to be on their game defensively if they're going to keep pace with this Taunton team here tonight. It should be a big showdown. It is a big game for the Scarlet Hawks here tonight. Milford taking on Taunton, and we will have the opening tip for you when we come back next here on Milford TV. Time for basketball to begin here in Milford. The Scarlet Hawks taking on the visiting Taunton Tigers. A Hockomock League crossover matchup in the gym tonight. And first, let's bring you the starting lineups for these two teams. First for Taunton, it is Michael Quinn, John Martins, Naz Kenyon, Wesner Charles, and Dante Law. And for the Scarlet Hawks, it is Brendan White, Brendan Saylor, Colby Perez, Jordan Darling, and Dom Schofield. And a new roster issued before the start of the game here tonight that did not include Steve Sutherland on it. So Milford's 4th captain apparently out of the mix here at the varsity level. So the 3 captains that still exist on the roster in there to get started, White, Saylor, and Perez. And a big game here for the Scarlet Hawks trying to shake off an elongated losing streak. And the big reach of number 21, Wesner Charles, allows Taunton to control the opening tip. And we begin here on this Tuesday night in Milford. A quick jumper on that opening possession, no good. Taunton able to win the rebound, but the ball deflected out of play. Taunton has claimed victory in 3 out of the last 4 meetings between these two teams. Milford winning the most recent matchup last season in what was an absolute thriller here in the Milford gym. Jordan Darling, the first Milford shot of the night offline, but Milford controls the rebound. Saylor out from 3-point range, and he knocks it down. It was an uneven effort against this Taunton team last season for Milford. They trailed for most of the night, including trailing by 7 with just about a minute left to play, but that is when the Hawks turned up the heat. They were able to tie the game in the closing seconds, force overtime, and they were able to come away with a 56-54 OT win. It was one of the statement victories of the season as Milford holds defensively once again. An early 3-0 lead for Milford just over 60 seconds into this first quarter action. Milford in need of a hot start. Colby Perez trying to get hot from outside, no good here. Schofield working for the rebound, tries to put it back offline. Fresh shot clock for the Scarlet Hawks. With Saylor looking for a passing partner, gets it up to Perez. Right back into the hands of the point guard. Milford with a pep band in the house tonight. You'll be hearing the sounds from the band over the course of the evening. Long range shot for for Schofield. It's a long two, and the sophomore increases the early Milford run to 5-0. This is an athletic, fast, and talented Taunton team, led by the man with the basketball in his hand right now, Dante Law, trying to weave a pass inside, but it gets picked off by the Scarlet Hawks, showing good energy through these early minutes. Here's Brendan White trying to go to the basket. He gets his shot blocked. Here's Schofield again trying for the turnaround, and no good. That was a good block put on by Wesner Charles. And now down the other end of the floor, it's Law, who cannot connect on the layup with the right hand. And it stays 5-0 Milford. Here's Darling now. His shot rims out. And we fly back and forth up the floor here with still 5.5 to play in the first quarter. Taunton swings it around to Law now into the corner. And the ball slipping out of the hands and nearly a backcourt violation, but just able to hold on was John Martins, one of the Taunton captains. The jungle gets loud, 5 seconds left on the shot clock. And now the ball knocked away, just 2 seconds and one, and an extra pass for Dante Law, and a shot clock violation. A good defensive stand once again for Milford, and the student section also lending a hand. Taunton unable to hear the bench count down that shot clock. We cross under 5 minutes to play in the first. Saylor guarded by Michael Quinn. I have to imagine a lot was talked about in the subsequent practices after that tough loss last Friday to North. Milford responding at least here early on. Schofield, the shot no good. Nice deflection right to Brendan White. Can't beat the triple team, and now here's Law. Quick hands all the way up the floor, and he slams it home. And there is the raw athleticism of Dante Law, who has been one of the more exciting players to watch in the Hockomock League for the last 3 seasons. He can be inconsistent, and he can rack up the fouls. Was in big foul trouble all night long in Taunton's most recent game, as Saylor responds with another 3. That's 6 points in this first quarter for Saylor, and an 8-2 lead now for the Hawks. Trying to feed inside for John Martins, now back out for Law, and that's good from 3. So Law has all 5 Taunton points so far, down to a 1-possession game, and momentarily the student section quieted. Here's Darling trying to back his way in, and takes contact on the way up. The head coach for the Taunton Tigers is Charlie Dacey. Paul Seaver on the Milford sidelines, hoping to see his team start to heat up. Still time left in this season. And eventually rolling in for Darling. Missing the second. Right back to Law, who now swings it around the perimeter. Now tough pass, just barely finds its way to Martins. Now loose on the floor. Taunton still has it. 10 seconds on the shot clock. They get it back outside to Law, that same spot on the floor, but this time off the back of the rim. The student section in their pajamas for tonight's game, staying loud as we get later into this first quarter. Perez doesn't see an opening on the corner, and now Taunton with the turnover. Dante Law continuing to be 100% of this Tigers offense. It was an 8-2 run to start the game. Now Taunton able to cut it to just a 2-point lead, and now Brendan Saylor with the turnover. Coach Seaver in disagreement of the call. He lets the official know it. So Taunton weathering the storm early from Milford, and now an opportunity to tie or take the lead. A foul on the Scarlet Hawks here. They're going to call it on Schofield. It's his first. And Brendan White getting a hand on that inbounds pass. Turnovers for both sides here as we get deeper into the first. Lob pass to Perez, and he'll release the shot. And as Kenyon taking it all the way inside, offline on the shot, fighting for his own rebound, now deflected back out. Perez finds it. Perez with a head of steam. Law up to block the shot, and Law commits the foul. Dante Law lightning quick up the floor. It's the junior's first foul. Milford not off to the best start from the free throw line. Schofield's going to take a rest on the bench here. We'll see our first appearance from Danny Corsini on the night. Just bad luck on the second shot for Perez. He ends up missing them both. Keeps it a 9-7 lead, but Milford able to win back possession, opening up a three from Brendan White. The shots all of a sudden not falling for the Scarlet Hawks, and once again, a chance for Taunton to get the equalizer. But the runner in the lane, no good for Michael Quinn. And now Milford trying to use speed up the floor, but Corsini will pull it back. White now in some trouble, gets it ahead to Corsini. Elevates over his man, but misses the shot. For the moment, Milford cold out there offensively after 9 quick points. And Dante Law doing it again. And so right now it's Milford versus number 24, and it's all tied up at 9 with less than a minute to play in the first. Corsini gets double teamed on the sideline. The ball gets knocked out of play, and it will be Taunton basketball with 46.2 seconds to go. And this has been the way the season has gone. So many ups and downs within games for Milford. They had all the energy in those first 3 minutes. But since then, Taunton slowing them down. Some mistakes mixed in. And finally, we see a basket from someone else on this Tigers roster as Lou Vendrell comes in off the bench, gets the layup, and that gives Taunton an 11-9 lead. Perez trying to get away. Shot no good. Michael Quinn doing a good job defensively. Now here's Law all the way to the hole. And Law now 11 first quarter points. 5 seconds left. Time for one more shot, perhaps for Milford. It'll be Corsini with a good look from 3, but too strong. And so a good start, but a poor finish to the first quarter for the Scarlet Hawks, and that allows Taunton to carry a 13-9 lead after 1. We'll take a quick break and have the start of the second quarter when we come back next here on this coverage of Milford High School athletics on Milford TV. Second quarter now getting started. First appearance of the night for Ben Blanchard for the Scarlet Hawks, but Brendan White taking care of business all by himself. That's White's first basket of this game. Milford an 8-2 run to open up the first quarter, but Taunton finished it on an 11-1 run. Free throws now for the Tigers as John Martins heads to the line. A foul called on Danny Corsini. Students get loud for Milford. Martin's able to connect on the second. 14-11 now as Saylor tried to thread a pass ahead to Corsini that was deflected out of play. Stays with Milford, 5 seconds off the shot clock. Just 31 seconds into the second quarter. Long-range three, which is a big part of the bag of tricks of Ben Blanchard. No good. Then Corsini wide open from three-point range. And the outside shooting woes continue for the Scarlet Hawks. And as Kenyon on the other side of the floor connects with 2 more Tigers points. And it's up to a 5-point lead for the visitors. Blanchard gets double-teamed. Now here's Saylor. He has some room under the basket. Tries for the reverse lay-in, but it does not fall. Offense very hard to come by for Milford, as now the hard foul is given by Brendan White. It's his first foul of the night. Martins with a second look from the foul line in the second quarter. Chance to make it a 7-point lead. Second shot rims out. Rebound controlled by Saylor. Milford with another new addition to their varsity bench coming into this game tonight as White misses from 3. Milford has not had much luck behind the three-point line. It's just Brendan Saylor who knocked down a couple of early looks when Milford was hot to start the game. They've gone over from long range since. But that additional name on the varsity roster is David Pasella. Excuse me, 2 new names. Sean Murray also added to the varsity roster for this game to go along with Kevin O'Connor, who had been added before the game last Friday. So that's 3 more underclassmen on the rosters, all 3 of them sophomores. And a roster that was already sophomore heavy, even more so now. The only seniors on the roster for the Scarlet Hawks at this point are Danny Corsini, Brendan White, and Brendan Saylor. As Law is able to deflect the basketball, but right into the hands of Corsini. Now it's Saylor from 3. He misses. Foul committed. That stops the clock at 5:59. And foul committed by Brendan Saylor. It's his second foul, and that's going to force him to the bench. And that was a problem that Milford experienced last Friday as well. Saylor got himself into early foul trouble, had to ride the bench for a good portion of the game. Matt Verderesian out there now. Taunton misfires on the pass. It goes careening out of play. Milford will take over with 5:51 to go in the half, down by 6. Student section trying to stay engaged. A dicey pass by Vardaresian. And Blanchard now has some space. With the foot on the line, the shot in and out. Now here's White fighting underneath the boards. Milford really struggling to generate any kind of offense right now. Fortunately, Taunton has not been able to maximize the opportunity to extend this lead. It's still just a 2-possession game. Good pass from White into Darling and an easy bucket. And maybe that can start to jumpstart this offense once again. Darling's first points from the floor. And called for the travel, Michael Quinn. The energy starting to come back up on the floor for the Scarlet Hawks as Coach Seaver sends Tyler Weatherby out there. Weatherby, a junior. Colby Perez back out on the floor as well. Darling backing his way in, weaving around the defender. Slick moves for Jordan Darling. And now timeout called for. Milford starting to fight their way back in. They've cut it down to a 2-point margin. Timeout called with 4 minutes and 42 seconds to go in the first half. It is 17-15, Taunton over Milford here on Milford TV. Out of the timeout, Milford sticks with that same unit. They've cut it from a 6-point deficit down to 2. Taunton trying to feed John Martins underneath the basket, but the pass too hot for Martins to handle. Milford getting a piece apparently as that ball stays with Taunton. 18 seconds on the shot clock, 4.5 minutes to go in the half as Brendan White nearly jarred that ball loose. A pass to Lou Vendrell in the corner. Now passes it back outside to Law, and Dante Law called for the travel. Chance for Milford to tie or take the lead here with still over 4 minutes to play. Vardaresian with speed up the floor, gets closed off and gives it away. Now the ball deflected. Milford able to get back defensively. Now Vendrell all the way to the basket. And a nice touch around the rim to get that shot to fall. 4 points off the bench for Vendrell, who was a big factor in this matchup last season. White tries to fight through a double team, the ball loose, he tries to pick it back up. Taunton wins it, then puts it right back in the hands of Weatherby. Here's Perez to the basket, count it, and the foul. Well, not pretty, but effective for the Scarlet Hawks as White had lost control. Taunton able to win it, but somehow the ball deflects right to Perez. Gets his first bucket and a chance to make it a 3-point play. Misses the free throw, but fortunately able to get his own rebound. Takes it inside and gets 2. Perez will take that exchange. He's 0 for 3 from the line, but now 4 points. And he's tied it at 19. Vardaresian now knocks the ball free. Milford applying more pressure on the defensive side of the floor. A 3-ball put up by Michael Quinn. Taunton able to answer. That quiets the crowd for the moment. We tick down to 3 minutes to play in the half. Perez finds Darling. Darling bounces off his man, but can't land the shot. Now Law, quick hands. Good pass into Martins. Taunton starting to spread the ball around on offense after it was the Dante Law show through the first quarter. At 11 points in that first quarter, he has not scored since. Now here's Vendrell, and he gets the layup. just like that, Taunton able to push the lead back out to 7 points. After Milford had fought back to tie, now White rejected under the basket. He's able to win it back, and now a chance for three. Brendan White has really had to work for every bucket over these last few games. He was relatively quiet against North Attleboro last Friday night. This is the free throw. White ended up with 8 points on the night against the Rocketeers. Now here's Law. Taunton attacking inside. Here's Law with the rebound, and eventually ends up coming through. So his first bucket of the second quarter, now 13 points in the game. Lead 7 for the Tigers. Here's Perez, the long jumper. Perez has been good in the second quarter, up to 6 points. Milford sending Max Martin onto the floor here late in the quarter, and he picks up his first foul, but now makes up for it, knocking the ball free. Now a scrum. The jump ball called for, but the possession arrow will keep the ball with the Tigers. (28-23) Taunton over Milford. Taunton's led since about midway through the first quarter. Perez with a nice block. Milford fans like to see that. Taunton with the ball back in play. 16 seconds on the shot clock, coming down to the final 90 seconds of the half. Lightning quick pass to the corner for three. It misses everything. Brendan White covering up the rebound. Now here's Martin, quick release from three, and offline, just barely. Now Martin gets back defensively. And up for the shot was John Martins. He misses, but they'll have a chance to go to the line. And they'll call the foul on Brendan White. That's his second. 2 fouls on White, 2 fouls on Saylor. Danny Corsini now poised to come into this game, and they see Brendan White head to the bench. Martins misses the bucket, and indeed that will be the exchange. Martins 2 of 5 shooting free throws in the second quarter, one more coming up. Martins with 5 points in the half. Now Max Martin trying to find Colby Perez, but Dante Law is able to get there. And now Michael Quinn gets a good bank off the glass. And an 8-point lead now for the Tigers with just 45 seconds to go. Another bad pass from Milford. Right back up the floor is Quinn. Lead up to double digits. Few seconds difference between shot clock and game clock. That pass surprising Max Martin now from 3-point range. His second attempt from that distance, and 0 for 2. And Taunton turning the basketball over, giving Milford one last chance to head into the break on a positive note. Letting up some leaky baskets here in the final minutes of this first half. taking his time. Now finds Perez. He has the look he wants. Drains the three. 3 seconds left. Can Taunton get a shot off? They get it to Law. Long-range shot, and it's no good. Good work from Colby Perez in that second quarter. Came through with 9 points. But Milford's uneven defensive performance in the half, in particular over those final minutes, allowed Taunton to build a lead back up. And so a 33-26 score as we head into halftime. Work for Milford to do when we come back. We will pause for the half, and we'll have third quarter action in just a moment. Stay tuned to coverage of Milford High School boys basketball here on Milford TV. Welcome back into the Milford High School gymnasium. It is the third quarter now in this Hockomock League crossover matchup between Milford and Taunton. A 33-26 lead for the visitors. Milford fighting to tie the game back up midway through that second half, but a good final push to the second quarter, just as they did in the first 8 minutes, allowed Taunton to take the lead. Milford able to chip in thanks to a late three-pointer knocked down by the Scarlet Hawks. Here's Brendan Saylor short on his long-range shot attempt. Your leading scorers in this game, Dante Law leading all scorers with 13 points. Colby Perez is your leading Milford scorer with 9. Good distribution of offense as that first half went on for the Tigers. After leaning heavily on Law through the first 8 minutes, ball up for grabs. Nobody picked it up for Milford. And now back outside, but the shot clock winds down. Milford gets bailed out. They were able to knock the ball loose, then everybody headed back up the floor. Nobody picked up the basketball. Ultimately, the Hawks with possession now. A minute into this third quarter. Here's Perez from the free throw line. The shot short, gets his own rebound, dribbles his way inside, misses again. And now here's Law. White able to set his feet and draw the charge. White able to get back there and get position. Still looking for our first bucket of this quarter. Bounce pass inside to Jordan Darling results in the foul. And it's the third foul on Naz Kenyon. That'll send him to the bench. Looks like Lou Vendrell will come back out. He was productive when he came into the game in the second quarter. Darling 1 for 3 from the line so far. Milford has made just one of their first 7 free throws. And you can make it 1 of 8, and you can just tell as a team, these Milford players are really pressing at the free throw line. White trying to step in for the turnover. Law to Vendrell. And now White this time able to jar the ball loose. Law gets it back though. Leads to a wide open look for Lou Vendrell from the corner. Up to 9 points in the game now for Lou Vendrell. Here's Darling, tries to answer, cutting to the rim. And again draws the contact. So Darling doing the tough work, drawing fouls and getting to the line, but the problem is Milford needs to start knocking down some of these shots. Darling himself 1 for 4 from the line. Finally gets one to rattle through. Now out for a good look from 3, no good. thought they had all ball, but the foul committed by Jordan Darling. It's his first foul. Free throws for Tyler Stewart. Gets a couple of very friendly bounces in order to make the second. Back up to a 10-point Taunton lead. White a little indecision. Now here's Corsini, tries to float one in. Vendrell, cross-court pass, quick deflection, and now back momentarily into the hands of Martins. Taunton ends up turning it over a little too many passes on that possession for the Tigers. Vendrell pesters Saylor in the backcourt. Coach Seaver watching on anxiously. To see his team go on a run. White makes the decision to try to force his way inside. Could not break that double team. As now Taunton is called for another offensive foul. This continued to be one of the things that Milford has been best at this season, is drawing charges. Still a 10-point margin with 4:40 to go in the third quarter. Brendan White still sitting on just 4 points. Tries his luck from long range. Now Vendrell thought about it. Now guarded closely by Saylor. Student section again trying to get engaged. Lob pass into Stewart, now back up top from Martins. It's Vendrell who takes the shot and nails it. Vendrell with a couple of three-pointers in this third quarter, and that will send us into a Milford timeout. The Hawks just 1 point over the first 4 minutes of this third quarter. The offense drying up yet again for Milford. They talk it over in the timeout. We'll pause as well. 40-27, Taunton over Milford here on Milford TV. The fans imploring the Scarlet Hawks to turn it on. Vendrell forcing that inbounds pass right back out. Kobe Pires calling for reinforcements in the backcourt. Finally able to get it into Saylor. Vendrell staying in close proximity. Corsini a hesitation. Now has some space for a deep three. Corsini earlier in this season had some huge games where that three was all but automatic. He's come back down to earth, in particular over these last two. Does not have a bucket yet in this game tonight. Trying for the high bank off the glass was Martins. Still 40-27. Darling from three, too short. The rebound deflects right to Quinn. Quinn with just Saylor to beat, and Saylor able to reject it out of bounds. Biggest deficit of the night for Milford at 13 points as this ball deflects into the backcourt. Here's White, tries to time the jump, can't get the layup. Saylor comes in, and finally, after the third try, White is able to grab his first third quarter bucket. But that just goes to show you how nothing has come easy for the Scarlet Hawks offensively tonight. since that early 8-2 run to open the game. It was their best offensive run. Now Vendrell will try it from longer range. He's been confident from outside. A lot of contact under the basket after a couple of offensive rebounds for the Tigers. Looks like Wesner Charles took the contact, initiated by Dom Schofield. He picks up his second foul. Line drive free throw attempt from Charles is good. That's his first point of this game. Two-for-two trip with a 6'4" senior Wesner Charles. Now White into Darling, off his hands and out of play. And Coach Seaver at the end of his rope, screaming from the sidelines to his players, do we want to play or not? Does not like the energy out on the floor. Long lob finds John Martins. 2:12 to go in the third. What has been a very quiet offensive stretch for the Hawks. Just 3 total points so far in this third quarter. 9 points for the Tigers. And Milford lucky that this game is still at all within striking distance, as White sees that shot go about halfway down and then rim back out. And now, as Milford is able to collect the rebound, White trying to get ahead in transition, and you could clearly see John Martins with the jersey tug on Brendan White. Gets it back in with 1:46 now to go. Milford back with their original starting 5 on the floor now. Here's White, quick release. Tried to buy himself a foul call. Nothing doing. White over his varsity career has been a very good three-point shooter. He's had his struggles this season. Just receives a lot of attention and has still been able to maintain his mark as one of the top scorers in the league. Taking a look at the stats coming into this week's action in the Hawk, White is the number 4 scorer in the Hawk, averaging 15.6 points per game. Dante Law of Taunton, 6th in the league in scoring, averaging 15.2 points. Martins has had plenty of looks from the free throw line tonight, as White now will take a seat on the bench. Tyler Weatherby back out on the floor for the second time. 5 of 8 now from the free throw line is Martins. Just over a minute to go. Darling just the second made basket in this third quarter for the Hawks. Now they get the turnover. Here's Saylor up the floor. Bounce pass for Weatherby. And Tyler Weatherby capitalizes. That cuts it to an 11-point deficit. And that's exactly what Milford needs, is consecutive baskets. Vendrell slowing the pace for a moment, now cuts in, leaves the pass outside for Michael Quinn. Quinn with the big three. 47-33, 12 seconds left. Colby Pires trying to answer offline. Schofield was there for the rebound but couldn't secure it. Now Vendrell, fancy behind the back pass, takes it all the way to the rack and ends this third quarter with an exclamation point for the Tigers. Some pretty moves for Lou Vendrell, who picked up 8 points in that third quarter. He led the offense in that period for the Tigers, and that sends us on to the fourth quarter with Milford in a big hole. They trail 49-33 to the Taunton Tigers. That fourth quarter action will start right after this here on Milford TV. The last time these two teams played, it was a late fourth quarter surge for the Scarlet Hawks that paved the way for an improbable comeback. Milford will need the exact same formula here tonight if they want to eke out a victory against this Tigers team. They know they have done it before. They're capable of doing it again. And here's Jordan Darling, goes coast to coast, but just cannot finish. And then gets called for his third foul. Milford applying pressure. Saylor nearly had the steal. And now the ball left behind. Vendrell has it. White tries to reach in for the steal. And they will call the 10-second violation. Weatherby still out there for the Hawks, gets the ball stolen by Vendrell, and a terrific pass to Dante Law, who comes through with his second slam dunk of the game. That's just his first bucket of the second half. It's been Law and Vendrell who have been the stars for the Tigers. Brendan Saylor responds with a three. That's his first points of the second half. Had 6 points in the first. He's made 3 baskets in this game. They've all come from three-point range. But Taunton, too tough on the other side of the floor as Wesner Charles gets the shot. Chance for the three-point play. The foul goes against Brendan White. It's his third foul, and White will head back to the bench. He has just 6 points in this game. Deficit is at 17 for the Scarlet Hawks. Here's Corsini with the jumper. Misses, gets his own rebound, fights it back outside to Darling. Dante Law picks up the foul. That is Law's 4th foul. So he'll have to be careful. Quick release on a shot for Weatherby right off the inbounds over everything. Looks like we'll see a return for Ben Blanchard in a few moments. Perched at the scorer's table. 6 minutes left to go. Milford is going to need points and need them in a hurry. But right now, they just cannot get stops as Wesner Charles is up to 4 quick points in this fourth quarter. Here's Corsini, he was calling for it. Can't make the shot. Weatherby fights for the rebound. Now floated back in, no good. Rebound controlled by Law. He lobs the ball ahead, and the layup for Naz Kenyon. And this game quickly drifting out of Milford's reach. And Corsini finally able to knock down a three. It's his first made shot of the game. Milford with an 18-point deficit. Corsini selling out to try to get the steal. Back out for Law. Now a wide open look. That's a three, no good. Flying in was Kenyon. And they'll call Kenyon for the foul. That's his fourth. So that's two players on the floor right now for Taunton with 4 fouls, Kenyon and Law. But unless Milford can kick off a fast and furious comeback, it's not going to matter. Colby Perez after 9 first half points. That's just his first point of the second half. Clean trip to the line. Milford 3 for 11 from the free throw line tonight. Max Martin back out on the floor. Interesting unit for the Scarlet Hawks right now. Max Martin, Ben Blanchard, Matt Vardaresian, and then Dom Schofield and Jordan Darling. It's an all-sophomore lineup for Coach Seaver, and certainly with the game right on the verge of out of reach, Coach Seaver perhaps giving an opportunity for some of his bench players to get a taste of competition. Either that or perhaps sending a message to some of his starters who have struggled offensively throughout the night. 4 points from White, 9 points for Saylor. Perez has had a good night offensively. Jordan Darling with 8, Dom Schofield with 2. Blanchard. That has been the style of Ben Blanchard. Those deep threes. That one about 10 steps behind the three-point line. He knocks it down. Brings the score to 57-44. A quick timeout called for after the basket. And we will take the timeout as well. 4 minutes and 1 second remain in this basketball game. Milford with a big mountain to climb against the Tigers here on Milford TV. Can the bench make this a basketball game again? It's a 13-point deficit with now under 4 minutes to play. It's mostly a bench unit for Coach Seaver right now, with starters Darling and Schofield on the floor. And Schofield adds another charge on the night for the Hawks. Seven fouls for the Hawks, 8 for the Tigers, 3:36 to go. Schofield and Darling working inside. The foul gets called on John Martins, who now has 3. Make and a miss. The lead for Taunton at 12. Max Martin nearly getting the steal. Missed basket. Foul as Wesner Charles was able to pull down a rebound. They call the foul on Schofield. That's his 4th. Charles now 2 for 4 from the free throw line. Blanchard, deep release again, this time caught back iron. Just 2:42 to go. Time quickly running out on a comeback bid for the Scarlet Hawks, and right now in very real danger of dropping their 4th straight game and their 5th out of 6. Vendrell stepping out of bounds. And now timeout called for. The clock stopped right now with 2 minutes and 22 seconds to go. Again, tough spot for the Scarlet Hawks, just not much time to go. See what they can pull out in these final minutes when we come back after this here on Milford TV. After this game tonight, Milford will be back on the road on Friday night, traveling to Stoughton to take on the Black Knights, who had a big win last Friday to pull themselves into a 2nd place tie. Their next home game won't be until January 25th. Back-to-back road games at Stoughton and Oliver Ames. So 2 near must-win games for the Scarlet Hawks after dropping another one at home, barring a miraculous comeback with just over 1.5 minutes left to play. A lot of the starters sitting through much of this 4th quarter. Coach Seaver once again having to go back to the drawing board with this team. It's not been the way that the Hawks thought the first half of this season would unfold. A lot of work to do as they move forward into the second half of this 2018-2019 regular season. Milford gym about as quiet as it's been all night long. Taunton working the clock to their advantage. This shot inside for Charles. Now they kick it back outside. Milford does to Blanchard. Able to get the offensive rebound. Vardaresian's shot no good. And the rebound now secured by Taunton. They're able to get it ahead to Michael Quinn, who misses the easy layup. Now the bounce pass into Darling. Late bucket for Jordan Darling. cut it to a 12-point margin, but that is as close as the Scarlet Hawks will get with just 10 seconds left. Mere formalities here as the Tigers dribble out the remainder of the clock. And this will put a finishing touch on a disappointing night yet again here in the Milford gym, 59-47. Taunton able to walk away with an easy victory. It started off so well for the Scarlet Hawks in that fourth quarter, but once Taunton rode that early wave by the Scarlet Hawks, they were able to pull ahead, and they did not look back from there. So Milford handed their fourth consecutive loss as they dropped this one tonight again by a final score of 59-47. So that will wrap up our coverage. We'll be back in the Milford gym on Friday with the girls basketball team as they take on their counterparts from Stoughton. In the meantime, a thank you to our Milford TV crew on hand, our director for the game, Liz Harkins, our camera operator, Scott Crisafulli and Malcolm Zale, and I am Tim Coe. At that final score, one final time, 59-47, Milford falls to the Taunton Tigers. This has been a presentation of Milford High School Athletics here on Milford TV. So long, everybody.